Shalom. Giving all the praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Chakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and safety and much blessings to the Yakim that's pushing this truth out the four corners of the earth and our truth, the sincerity and the diligence. Shalom. And I just want to get into this topic of it's said by another Israelite group, which is the ISUPK, which they have a vast following. Okay, you know, and Captain Tazariak, he's in that group. He's he has ranking in that group. Okay, and they like to claim that John the Baptist fell out the truth. Just be and we're gonna get into that, but that's just that's just them era, right? Not having the spirit or knowing the scriptures. Okay, so I just type in the word error. Where is that? Maybe I should have typed in the word scriptures. I think it's probably be in James, right? The error, not knowing, oh no. Error, my beloved, Salaki. There it is, Matthew. This is Matthew 22 and 29. Yahushua answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High. Okay, so that fits them. They err not knowing the scriptures or the power of the Lord. All right, because you can't say that John the Baptist. You can't say that John the Baptist fell out the truth, man. Okay, that's idiotic to say. That's just not of the scriptures. You shouldn't teach that, man. All right, because shit, Yahweh Shah solidified John, bro. Solidified John. You see, he was baptized by John. Okay, so you shouldn't teach that. Titus 1. This is Titus 1 and 10. It says, for they are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers. That is deceiving, all right? Especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses. They do subvert whole houses, bro. Teaching that you can, have anal sex. You see, they teach that subvert. Let's check out that word subvert. Right? To look, you see, it says and at repo, and on at the repo, it says to overthrow, overturn, destroy. Right? You destroy whole houses like that, man. Teaching that you can, have anal sex. These are the same men that told you to go get the jab. Now, you shouldn't listen to anything that they say. They do have the foundation, that we are Israelites, right? Okay, fine. So not saying that that's wrong, but it's, when it comes to the doctrine, they err not knowing the scriptures, man. Okay? That's just, you really just going off, man. If you tell someone they can have, anal sex, you're going off. You tell someone to go get the jab, you shouldn't subscribe to that guy. All right? Teaching things which they ought not, right? Teaching things which they ought not for filthy lucre's sake, man. And you see this guy, Captain Cesaria, he go on these platforms. He go on these, he was on the platform with not Fresh and Fit, No Flugazi. Right, I actually, like No Flugazi. He be getting on them women ass, man. He make a lot of sense when it come to that, man. And when they was talking about the Bible, you could tell they just Flugazi, No Flugazi, the guy, what's his name, Cooley. He just don't know. They don't know the scriptures, man. And they ultimately are going to be destroyed. Okay, because they come up against the Lord, they come up against the Bible because they don't understand, they have their place in this society, and that's what it looked like. Captain Tazariak is on. He's trying to get, fame in this society, want to be seen and want to be known, all these different things, but Anyway, the point is that they're teaching things which ought not to be taught, and saying that John the Baptist fell out the truth, or that's like because he doubted the Lord. You know what I mean? That's you're going off, man. All right, so let's just get to it. This is Matthew 11. This is Matthew 11 and 1. It says, "And it came to pass when Yahushua had made an end to his commanding, to the end of commanding his 12 disciples, he departed thence to teach and to preach in their cities. Now when John heard in prison the works of Hamashiach, he sent two disciples." Now, John was in prison, man. All right, he was placed in prison by Herod. Okay, Herod Antipas. It says, "And unto him," and he was later on beheaded. It says, and said unto him, "Art thou he that should come, or do we look for another?" So he was just merely just asking a question. It's like, listen, man, are you the one, or should we look for another? Not saying that, man, you ain't the Messiah. You ain't the Messiah, so we need to be looking for another. Nah, man, it wasn't like that. So what I did was just go check a little commentary out on this. It says, look, and this is about I think this is Matthew Henry. I always go check him out. Um, it says, where I had it at Salakia. It says, "Some think that John sent this question for his own satisfaction. It is true that he had borne a noble testimony to Hamashiach, and had declared him to be the Son of the Most High." Right? So look, it's right here. It's in 1 John 1 and 34. "And I saw and bear record that this is the Son of the Most High." John 1 and 29. "And the next day John seeth Yahushua coming up unto him, said, Behold, the Lamb of the Most High, which taketh away the sins of the world. And he shall baptize," right, "with the Holy Spirit." Right? But John 1 and 33. "And I knew him not, but he that sent me to baptize, but he that sent me to baptize with water, the same said unto me, Upon whom thou shalt see the Spirit descending and remaineth on him, the same is he which baptized with the Holy Spirit." Okay, so look, it says, "But he desired to be furthered and more assured that he was the Messiah that had been so long promised and expected." Note, in matters relating to Hamashiach and our salvation by him, it is good to be sure. Okay? Hamashiach appeared not in that external pomp and power in which it was expected he should appear. His own disciples stumbled at this. Perhaps John did also. Hamashiach saw something of this at the bottom of his inquiry when he said, "Blessed is he who shall not be offended in me." Okay? You see? It is hard, even for good men, to bear up against vulgar errors. Now, when you drop down here, look right here, it says, "Others think that John sent his disciples to Hamashiach with this question, not so much for his own satisfaction as for theirs. Observe, though he was a prisoner, they adhered to him, attended on him, and were ready to receive instructions of him. They loved him and would not leave him." Now, let me see where I just read it at. Okay, look right here. It says John's doubt might arise from his own present circumstances. He was in prison. He was a prisoner. He might be tempted to think, if Yahushua be indeed the Messiah, whence is it that his friend and forerunner, right? Because he was Yahushua's cousin. It says, "Am brought into this trouble, and I am left to be so long in it, and he never looks after me. And that's any man. And that's any man with, like, whenever like, all of us are guilty of the fact that we came into, in some type of calamity or tribulation, to where, it's not that you doubt the Lord, that the Lord is the Lord, but it's just like, why, Lord, why, why I'm in this situation. So it wasn't, he was never doubting that he was, you know oh, you not the Messiah. He wasn't saying that you're not the Messiah because, oh, I'm in this situation. It's just like, well, damn, Lord, like, you know like, why am I here? Like, you gotta think about it. Look, he's in the flesh. you know it says, uh uh it says, and brought into this trouble, and I am left to be so long in it, and he never look after me, never visit me, nor sends me, inquires not after me, does nothing either to sweeten my imprisonment or hasten my enlargement. Right? So the point is, like, it's just, hey, John had to go through what he had to go through. That was his, uh, 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 that was his life. Okay, but he never, he wasn't saying that he wasn't the Messiah. He just was asking a question. That's it. So all he did was ask a question, and to teach that he fell out the truth. That's wicked. That's wicked as hell. So they're basically saying that John the Baptist is not of the elect. John the Baptist ain't gonna, he's not gonna, make it on the chariots, man. You see? Well, he said, didn't he say in Malachi 4? This is Malachi 4 and 5. It says, behold, I will send Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. Now, Matthew 17 and 14 says what? Was it 14? Oh, wait. Maybe is. Let's see. Oh, yeah, look. Elijah. Okay, so check it out. This is Elijah. This is Matthew 17 and 10. It says, and his disciples asked him, saying, say why then say the scribe that Elijah must come first? Elijah must come first. And Yahweh shall answer and said unto him, Elijah truly shall come first and restore all things. But I say unto you, Elijah is already come, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise, so shall the Son of Man suffer them. Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist. Okay, so that means, if Elijah was John the Baptist in the reincarnation, that means what? Elijah ain't the man of the Lord? Come on, man. So Matthew 11 and 3, it says, and said unto him, art thou he? That's what his disciples asking. Art thou? He told his disciples to, well, let me read verse 2. Now, when John had heard in prison the works of Hamashiach, he sent two of his disciples and said unto him, art thou he that should come, or do we look for another? Just asking a question here. Just, hey, man, look, hey, what's up? Yahweh shall answer and said unto them, go and shew John again those things which ye do hear and see. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, the lepers are clean, and the deaf hear, and the dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he whoever is not offended in me. Okay? So, I mean, when you read John 6 and 64, it says that Yahweh Shah knew who would believe and who would believe and who would not believe. You see? Look, it says Yahweh Shah tribute to John. And as they departed, Yahweh Shah began to say to the multitudes concerning John, what went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken with the wind? But what went ye out to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are kings and houses. But what ye went out to see? A prophet? Yea, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. For this is he whom it is written, behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare the way before thee. Right? Verily I say unto you, and it was spoken about John the Baptist in Isaiah. It says, before I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there had not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. So it says what? Among them that are born of women, there had not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Yahweh Shah said this about John the Baptist. Okay? John the Baptist had a high office, bro. Matthew 3 and okay, this is Matthew 3 and let's see. This is Matthew 3 and 13. Then cometh Yahweh Shah from Galilee to Jordan unto John to be baptized of him. Okay? But John forbade him, saying, I have need to baptize of thee, and thou comest to me. Yahweh Shah answered, said unto him, suffer it to be so now, for thus it becometh us to fulfill all righteousness. Then he suffered him. And Yahweh Shah, when he was baptized, went straightway out the water, and lo, the heavens were opened up, and he saw the Spirit of the Most High descending like a dove, and the lightning upon him. And lo, a voice from heaven saying, this is my beloved Son. A voice from heaven, right? This is my beloved Son. So who is that talking? Yahweh, my beloved Son, which is Yahweh Shah, two different people, in whom I am well pleased. Okay? So, what do you mean here? John 3. Oh, man. This is John 3. And it reads, it says, John's last testimony. It says, after these things came Yahweh Shah and his disciples into the land of Judea, and there he tarried with them and baptized. John also was baptizing in Aenon near Salem, because there was much water there, and they came and were baptized. For John was not yet cast into prison. Then there arose a question between some of John's disciples and the Jews about purifying. And they came unto John and said unto him, Rabbi, he that was with thee beyond Jordan, to whom thou bearest witness, behold, the same baptizeth, and all men come to him. John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except it be given unto him from heaven. Ye yourselves bear witness of me that I said, I am not the Hamashiach, but that I am sent before him. He that hath the bride is the bridegroom, but the friend of the bridegroom, which standeth and heareth him, rejoice greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. This my joy therefore is fulfilled. He must increase, but I must decrease. He that cometh from above is above all. And he that is of the earth is earthly, and speaketh of the earth. He that cometh from heaven is above all. And what he had seen and heard, that he testified, and no man receiveth his testimony. He that receiveth his testimony had set to his seal that the Most High is true. For he whom the Most High had sent speaketh the words of the Most High, for the Most High giveth not the Spirit by measure unto him. The Father loveth the Son, and hath given all things into his hand. He that believeth on the Son hath everlasting life, and he that believeth not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of the Most High abideth in him. Why I read that? Because this is John's last testimony. But he wasn't cast into prison yet. So what? He still believed, on Yahweh Shah, man. He just nearly asked a question. That's all he did, was ask a question. So now John the Baptist is not in the truth by some niggas that's gonna say that go take the jump shot juice, man. The serpent serum. No, man. Come on, man. So he was in prison. So he sent his disciples to ask, hey man, you know, all right, and then what? So the scriptures don't speak of John the Baptist not believing that he was the Messiah or following out the truth, man. Okay? That's just you speaking from your own belly, you know? Probably bugging out or something. Well, he is bugging out. Let's see. This is John 6 and 64. For there are some of you that believe not. For Yahweh knew from the beginning who they were that believed not and who should betray him. Okay? So, you know, to say that John the Baptist wasn't a man of the Lord or he fell out the truth, you know, you're going off, man. All right? He baptized Yahweh, bro. Okay? He was Elijah. You see? So, if you can't see that, you know, if you just, you know, it's because the Lord smited your ass with madness, bro. So, Lord willing, you were edified. Shalom.